So today we have a cheddar tour, and along the way is our guest celebrity, Gordon Edgar, who just wrote a book called Cheddar. Everyone's going to get a copy of the book, and Gordon's going to be just reading on the bus.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gordon. Gordon Edgar. I wrote this book, which you guys all got, which is awesome.
Well, they haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, you haven't gotten it yet?
Yes.
A little bit about me. I've been selling cheese for 21 years now at Rainbow Grocery Cooperative in San Francisco. So we're in the midst of this American cheese renaissance right now. There's just an amazing amount of new cheeses, of old-time cheesemakers making great cheeses. You know, there's more good cheese being made in this country right now than at any time in our lifetimes. But I started thinking again, back to that original question, why did we need an American cheese renaissance? I mean, why wasn't it just always there at that level? And I realized that the answer to that was kind of looking into cheddar and understanding cheddar's role in American cheese.
We actually sell Hennings cheese curds in California. We just sell them frozen. The ones we sell are good too. I mean, it's the same thing, it's just frozen, but there's definitely a lot more flavor fresh, a lot more fun too, a lot more squeak. I love Hennings because it's they make just like good, honest cheddar. The curds are great. They take care of their farmers. Oh, it's great to see where stuff is made. It just gives you a context for it when you're talking to customers. You can actually be like, oh yeah, I saw the vat, and I saw people like working there. I saw how big it is. I saw the sign out front.
This is the drying room. I feel like this is one of those love-hate relationships that everybody has. They either love the smell of this room or they absolutely hate it. To me, I actually really enjoy it. I feel like it smells very fresh, very clean in here. It's going to be a little bit drier and a little bit warmer in here than what you're going to find in the cooler. Out there it's about 70, I believe, % humidity, and then in here it drops down to, I want to say, like 40%. But what you feel, all that moisture in there that you feel, it's actually the moisture coming up and out of that cheese. When this room is full, it is so cold and so damp feeling in here, but what you're feeling is all that moisture coming out of this cheese.
If I was not on such a short trip, I'd be buying cheese, but I usually buy cheese at places like this. Now I'm looking for sweatshirts, t-shirts more than that. But like all the mass-produced magnets and stuff like that, I love those things.
I wrote this book, which it's kind of like, is it hubris? Like coming to Wisconsin to talk about cheddar making is like a little bit of a thing, The first cheddar factory opened in Rome, New York, where they kind of incorporated all these things into a production facility where people were not making just cheese on their farm, but were making cheese through taking their milk to someone else who was making cheese, who then was selling it. But over the course of the next few decades, it turned cheddar from a farm cheese and turned cheese from a farm product into becoming an industrial product. What we find from about 25, 30 years ago is people kind of coming back and trying to reclaim this, both farmstead cheese made on the farm, but also just really handmade cheese and the value of the kind of inefficiency of that project.
Hey, Mr. Widmer, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
Very good. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
So everyone, this is Master Cheesemaker Joe Widmer of Widmer's Cheese Cellars.
Yeah, how are you doing? Yeah. My grandfather came from Switzerland, 1905. About a 17 or 18-year-old guy coming to the land of opportunity. He continued to make cheese as an apprentice, and in 1918 he bought a cheese factory up in northern Wisconsin in a little town of Woodhull. Now my grandfather had another big decision. What kind of cheese am I going to make? So what he started making in 1922 was brick and cheddar. Germans like a strong wash-drying cheese. So this guy would make a wash-drying cheese, but when he'd put the curds into a form, he'd put a cover and a brick on top. These are the same bricks my grandfather used in 1922. So we make cheese like the Flintstones. The brick stays on for about 3 hours. During that time, we turn it back and forth a couple times to evenly press it. After 3 hours, the brick comes off. Then it's covered and it sits overnight, and the following morning it goes to a salt brine. And we're going to continue the tour in by the salt brine.
I think that the Widmer plant is the first plant I ever visited in Wisconsin, actually. So, I mean, yeah, it's it's a step back in time, but it's also not. But, it's cheese that has been made for nearly 100 years, but it's still high quality. It's still, people are still looking for it. People still want it. It's still great cheese. And it's nice to see something that goes back this far. I love coming to Wisconsin, and I love talking to cheesemakers here, and I love eating the cheese from here. I mean, it's just great. There's no downside.
What's the next book?
The next book is I'm taking a year off. No.
When most of you are sleeping, the cheese will go in here at 4:30 in the morning. It'll stay till about 3 in the afternoon, and then it'll go to a curing room. Now, this is a 95% salt solution. What it does is give the cheese flavor and acts as a preservative. Okay, then we'll go to the curing room. The cheese came out of here just before you came here, and they put it in the curing room. And there's 2 types of brick. I'm going to explain them to you there. So we have 2 types of brick cheese. I'm going to explain them to you right now. Remember the guy said in the 1870s that invented brick? This is the kind he make. And we just packaged a bunch of it yesterday. That's the white cheese you see back here. That's the original type. Both bricks are the same until they get here. Even the colored one, they go through the same process till they get here. But the white one is the original type. Stays in here 7 to 10 days. We wash the surface every day. At the end of that 7 to 10 days, it gets quite a bacterial growth on the surface. So what we do is package it in parchment paper, see it? And then we package it in foil. We package it in parchment to hold the moisture on it, and we package it in foil. It needs air. So if you look at this cheese here, when I get the bacteria growing on it, if I let it dry out, the bacteria is not going to thrive. Take our hairnets off?
No, that's part of the whole product. That's part of the charm.
All right, you guys.
All right, see ya.
Take care.
See ya.
So, Gordon, thank you so much for coming to Wisconsin and coming for your book tour and meeting all the cheesemakers and meeting all the people on the bus. We adore you in Wisconsin. Seriously.
I adore Wisconsin.
Yes.
We adore you.
Oh, God. It's a big
The whole
adore
state
fest.
of California adores you.
Shut up.
This is the 20-year cheddar, man. This is the founder of the feast. And as soon as you touch it, it breaks because it's so old and crumbly, But, part of that's the appeal of it. So the 20-year, of course, we just decided to serve just a piece of cheese and be like, that's what it is, man. Enjoy it. Because, really people want to taste it. And the whole idea behind the dinner tonight was to release the cheese and let the public taste it finally. So I'm excited that we can just serve it as is and not do anything chefy to it, except possibly ruin it by breaking it into tiny pieces. Then we were like, well, we can't just do meat cooking food. So I wanted to have some special people come, and Justin Carlisle just got nominated as a finalist for the Beards, and with Justin Aprahamian having just won, and we've been all just been friends for so long, but since we've opened our own places, like we haven't been able to like get together. So it was just a good opportunity to hang out with some friends.
There are still things in our global and peripatetic lives that speak uniquely to place. The Wachau apricots of Austria, the great Bordeaux wine that's been held back just long enough, the langoustines that are pulled out of the Adriatic right when they should be. And for Wisconsin and the Driftless region, it's Hook's cheese. Specifically, Tony and Julie Hooks, who when, as high school sweethearts, they started making cheese in 1977, didn't realize that their careers and their time together would come to such acclaim. Tonight's dinner is a celebration of that place, of what that thing is to be from somewhere, to identify with who we are, what came from the earth, with the people that brought it forth. It's 6 courses played out by some of the best culinary talent that we have in this state, and it's our celebration of place.
You guys good? Need anything to drink?
Good, buddy.
Nobody wants to pregame? I kind of feel like pregame it.
You pregame, I'll pregame. I'm ready anytime.
Is there anything you don't drink?
No, I pretty much drink about everything.
All right then.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very
cheers,
much.
Man. Cheers.
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel more relaxed already.
I can't actually hear anything because the squeak is so loud inside my head.
You ready for a sneak peek?
Oh, for real?
That's the big one.
This is happening. This is not for the cameras. I seriously just got goosebumps all up my spine and up the back of my head.
Well, and it is. It's something so special. And if you've had the 15, it definitely is different in a much different way than you would think.
It's way softer. It's like almost liquefies after about 10 seconds on your tongue. It's not nearly as sharp and dry as I thought it would be.
But then, like, once you hang out with it and you let it chill, it'll come back to you and it'll just kind of hang out on your palate. And I think it's a great finisher.
So what was I doing in the summer of 1995? Right, when this milk was first put into forms. What were you doing?
Working on dropping out of college.
How'd that work out?
Oh yeah, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah.
So the format of tonight's dinner, we wanted to go as a flight or a escalating flight. So yeah, we wanted to go from curd all the way to 20. And it was really special because Tony made the curds this morning, so they're super yummy. So we're gonna each do a little cheese curd. So for ours is gonna be kimchi. Chef Scott took the fresh curds and just put them in a bag with kimchi liquid from the house-made kimchi at Gray's, a little bit of extra goju paste, and have a nice spice, but it is cheese after all, so that'll help my load.
Oh, I did it.
What are we serving the curds in?
On a tiny plate.
On a tiny plate?
Yep. Three curds on a tiny plate.
Okay, so we're like all on the same plate.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's awesome.
You tell us what to do, man. We're just here.
Yeah, it's your show.
Yeah.
This is our trout lily pesto. That's going to be going with the curd for the canapé course. We didn't put any cheese in the pesto, which you normally would, because we're trying to kind of showcase, again, the curd that we're working with. And we just wanted this to be a real clean platform to go with it.
So this is going to be the canapé with the fresh curds that Tony made today, grated black truffle, and then Buddha hand koshu.
This is our asparagus dish with salmuera. This is like a Spanish-style brine, but we added rhubarb and hickory nuts. Well, there'll be some cheese. It's our 5-year cheddar.
It was flour.
So this right here is the Hook's 5-year. This cheddar is already so much more superlative than so many others out there. And I would posit because of the great milk. This 5-year is made from that terrific hay or that fresh grass coming off of the fields of the Driftless region. It's tasting something that's so unique and so much better than all the other things that are like it. This is Wisconsin cheese. The asparagus, by the way, and all the other things are pretty solid too.
So the setting up for all the seasoning in the soup, we'll go soup in, but then you got the aged cheddar mousse, pepper mash, made into a condiment, condensed chive, beer vinegar thickened. And then we'll put the crispies on at the end, and all the seasoning and everything to go in the soup will be all along the side of the bowl. Soup is done with the 10-year cheddar. So the soup base is just like a beer cheese soup. Onions, garlic, herbs, beer, some shallot stock, bring it down. Cream, soy reduced to cream, mounted in 10-year cheddar.
So we've moved ahead 5 years to the 10-year cheddar, worked into this luxurious beer cheese soup in the hands of Chef Justin Carlisle. He's got this great popcorn flake and a terrific chive inside the soup that you stir in. The fresh milk flavor comes through in the soup. The rich, creamy, sharp cheddar aspects. It's unctuous, it's present, it's so sturdy and yet so delicate. This is the kind of food that this part of the country puts forth, and this is the kind of cuisine that our chefs cook when they're at the top of their game.
This is a mixture of the hikuri turnips and pickled apricots. So I'm going to let it marinate together, and then right before service we're going to mix in the tops to these turnips. We just kind of cut them in a chiffonade to be like a little salad with the apricots and turnips. This is our veal breast. We're going to hold it at a really specific temperature and then just sear it right before we need it, just to kind of finish the cooking process. We take the breast, which is generally like a fattier cut, clean it up, and then we brine it for 2 days, and we brine it with like apricot juice, onions, garlic, a little vinegar, salt. So 2 days in brine, and then we kind of truss it back together, and it's a slow, gentle cook on it. The dish started with the cheese boreg.
Can you say like what boreg is? Like everyone wants to know like
what the boreg is.
Yeah, so because you keep saying it like it's a normal word that everyone.
I grew up with it, so it's normal for me. Yeah, you know I mean? It's part of the Aprahamian lexicon.
There's a lot of normal stuff that Aprahamian has that nobody's heard about.
Like, what are you saying?
So the boreg, it's like a phyllo dough that's layered with butter.
One more time, say it again.
And you do like a cheese egg mixture. Boreg.
Usually it's cheese and eggs.
Yeah, well, it's cheese, egg. Brick cheese is very common in Armenian cuisine, at least.
So it's like an Armenian, like hot pocket.
Kind of. They're not always little and adorable like this.
So this is now the 15-year cheddar and a great veal breast and turnip and apricot. This is classic Justin Aprahamian of Sanford cuisine. It's elegant, it's balanced, it's flavorful, it's deep, and yet it's sort of ethereal and just great sculpture on the plate. The 15-year is a daunting cheese for a chef to work with, because by that point it has turned into such a dense equation of flavors, such a succinctness of what we know as cheddar, and the crystallization has come forward in such a strong way that no matter which bite you get, you can't avoid it. It's sublime. It's just sublime. The apricot and sweetness balances with the 15-year sharpness. The protein is just perfect, and the turnip gives that fresh summer bite that you can only get at a certain time of year. This is amazing cheese, but this is an exquisite dish.
This is the one, man. I'm actually like shaking a little bit. I don't know if it's from the whiskey or from the cheese, but I love like perfectly tempered cheese. And when it's got like the nice sweat on it, like that's where it's at. Sweaty cheese.
and so crazy good.
This tiny little morsel, like this is what great food is in one bite. It's Wisconsin. It's Tony and Julie Hook's, I don't know, people use the word too much, but it's their genius. Across 40 years of becoming master craftspeople. It's great cows, it's great milk, it's great grass, it's sunshine, it's the right amount of rain, and it's patience. It's beyond any other cheese I've ever had.
We just wanted to step out and say thank you to the Hooks, Tony and Julie, for giving us the dopest ingredient we could possibly use, which is the Wisconsin cheese. And how do we like the 20? I want to thank my very, very esteemed guests, Justin Aprahamian from Stanford. And Chef Justin Carlisle from Ardent. And all of you guys, thank you so much. I really hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you again so much. Everybody have a good night. Thank you.
There was a guy who was known as a cheese poet in the early 1900s. His name is James McIntyre. But this is called an Ode on a Mammoth Cheese weighing over 7,000 pounds. We have seen the Queen of Cheese lying quietly at your ease, gently fanned by evening breeze. Thy fair form no flies dare seize. All gaily dressed soon you'll go to the great provincial show, to be admired by many a beau in the city of Toronto. Wert thou suspended from balloon, you'd cast a shade even at noon. Folks would think it was the moon, about to fall and crush them soon. It takes a really dark turn, doesn't it?
Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters for their support: Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board and the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, Illing Company, Outpost Natural Foods Co-op, Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, Society Insurance, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, representing the dairy farm families of Wisconsin, who fostered a proud history with generations of family-owned dairy farms, working to sustain the state's economy through job growth and providing acclaimed cheeses and other dairy products.
Every product tells a story, and every story starts with a seed. Your story, your product, your company all started with an idea. Illing Company ensures you have the right packaging to help you proudly take your harvest to market. Illing Company is dedicated to packaging your vision.
I've had Society Insurance for my restaurant from the beginning because I know they understand my business and how it's evolving and how the industry is evolving. You're going to have the coverage and the support you need for your unique operation.